All right, let's dive into something pretty profound today. We're looking at a parable that acts as a capstone to a prologue, telling the story of a figure who doesn't just disagree with the world, he's here to tear it all down from the inside. This is the parable of the verdant and gold jester. So picture this. The story kicks off in an assembly, a thing, but the party's over. Any laughter that was there has just vanished. And in its place is this heavy, uncomfortable silence. You know that quiet that falls when a joke hits a little too close to home? That's what's happening here. A truth has been revealed that everyone was desperately trying to ignore. And right there, in that thick silence, everything changes. The old saga, the world that belonged to those silent, ambitious men, it just ended. A brand new story is about to start, and no one has any idea what's coming. Now, our main character is a figure called the Grungudnar, which means the verdant and gold jester. And his very first act is one of complete and total rejection. He literally turns his back on the whole established order, the world of law, of Jarls, and he just walks out. His whole appearance is a statement. His clothes are split right down the middle. One side is this tarnished gold, representing old, decaying power. The other side is pure, verdant chaos, symbolizing wild, untamed nature. And he isn't heading for another castle or court. Nope. He's walking straight into the deep, breathing wilderness, leaving civilization behind for a world of pure, unpredictable energy. As he crosses that line between the world of man and the world of nature, he stops. And this is a huge moment of self-realization for him. He pauses to look at the very tools of his new, terrifying mission, his own two hands. And here we see the two massive forces he now controls. His golden hand is filled with something called shadow necromancy. That's the heavy weight of the past, of all the broken promises and failed dreams. But his verdant hand holds the runes of destruction. That's the power of chaos, the ability to see through all illusion and just dissolve reality itself. So one hand carries the failures of what was, and the other wields the power to unmake what will be. So what exactly is shadow necromancy? Well, it's not about raising the dead, not in the literal sense. It's more of a metaphysical burden. Just imagine the crushing weight of all of history's baggage, the psychic stain of every failed ambition and broken oath. It's the collective ghost of the past, and it's suffocating the present. On the flip side, the runes of destruction are his ability to see reality for what it is, a temporary script, a kind of illusion. He doesn't just see a tree. He sees the entire process from seed to soil and back again. It's the power to not just see, but to actually trigger that fundamental, inevitable decay. So, armed with this new, terrifying power, the jester makes his first physical move. But it's not a declaration of war. It's something way more personal, more symbolic. He starts talking directly to the earth. He takes out a chipped axe, which is a perfect symbol for the broken destiny of all traditional heroes. But his reason for using it is key. He strikes the ground not to hurt it, but to wake it up. It's like he's knocking on the door of reality itself, demanding that the world finally listen to a different kind of story. And whispering to the soil, he gives his first sermon. He goes right after the very foundation of their world, the sagas. He says that these epic poems, with their strict codes of honor and vengeance, aren't stories about freedom, they're prisons. This beautiful cage is the heroic saga. It's the narrative that tells people how to live. It's the constant pressure that you must seek revenge, you must uphold your honor. The jester sees this endless cycle of must as a trap, one that prevents anyone from ever being truly, chaotically, and unpredictably free. So, after trashing the old world's logic, he signals the birth of the new one. He spins his fool's rattle, and that sound isn't just noise. It's described as the sound of the Nietzschean child, a symbol of pure creation, of a new beginning that can only happen after the old world has burned down. And right here, out in the emptiness of the wilderness, he makes his big declaration. He defines his new role in the universe and claims a kind of power that is totally radical and unique. He names himself the Willner. In German, Wille means will, and Narr is full or jester. So he's the willful, the jester of pure will. This isn't a title like a king or a lord. It's a declaration of his very being. This line is his entire philosophy in a nutshell. He's not interested in controlling the outcome. in ruling the harvest. He's interested in mocking the very tool of finality, the scythe of death and fate. His power isn't about dominion. It's about the absolute freedom to laugh at the forces that tried to control everyone else. So how's he going to pull this off? By acting as a void mirror. He won't fight the heroes and kings with swords, no. Instead, he's just going to reflect their own inner emptiness, their not I, right back at them. By showing them the void they carry inside themselves, all their symbols of power, their swords, their crowns, will suddenly feel heavy, hollow, and totally meaningless. His ultimate mission is just pure deconstruction. He's going to dismantle every truth they hold dear until they're forced to face the fragile, mortal foundation of their entire world. He wants to prove to them that their grand empires are nothing more than a temporary dance on top of a grave. And that brings us to the climax of the parable. The philosophy has been laid out, now it's time for the action. This is the beginning of his new era, his new saga. And with his first real step into the wilderness, he transforms. The line between him and the world dissolves. He isn't a person causing chaos anymore. He merges with it. He becomes the chaotic event. He's no longer waiting for the spill, he is the spill. And with that one step, the old world is officially over. The age of predictable heroes, of beautiful cages, of honor and vengeance, it's finished. And in its place, he announces this saga of frenzy. And he ends with this just incredible, chilling challenge thrown directly at the heavens. He's not just planning to disrupt the world of men, he's going to rot the very foundations of reality and see if the powers that be can even keep their footing. And then the Jester is gone, vanished into this verdant absurdity, leaving behind a world seeded with chaos. And that leaves us with one last massive question to think about. When an entire world's story dies, when its heroes and its rules all turn to dust, what new, strange, and wild things are going to grow in the soil that's left behind?